Good morning, students. Yesterday we studied about matter in our surrounding, different physical state, solid, liquid and gas. Today we study how can change one state to other state. Can matter change its state by effect of temperature and pressure? So yes, the answer is yes, because matter, states of matter can change solid to liquid, liquid change into gas. For example, in everyday life, we see in our daily life, if you put a water bottle or a water plate, we put some water in a plate in freezer, then it's changed into solid state. It's convert ice. If that ice placed, if you remove out, then it's again changed into water, and when water heating, it's changed into vapor state. So when increased temperature, then matters one state can change into other state, and when decrease, that also affect, and pressure also affect. Matter have these. Today we see the effect of temperature and pressure on states of matter, and melting point and boiling point. So at first, what is melting point? Melting point means the substance melts. Melting point a temperature when a substance change solid state into liquid state at its melting point. Melting point a temperature when solid change into liquid at its atmospheric pressure. So what is atmospheric pressure? The pressure occurs on sea level. For example, this one a sea level. At that sea level, pressure is, we measure, that is atmosphere. Atmosphere is a large unit, but pressure SI unit is Pascal. So we know one atmosphere have 1,1325 Pascal. Or you can say pressure is another unit, that is bar. We can say standard unit is bar. And 1 bar is 1 lakh Pascal. Or we can say it 1 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. So students, melting point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. And melting point of any substance is characteristics. If any substance higher melting point, this indicates strong force of attraction. Because compounds change into solid into liquid, then you know solid, liquid and gas, everything is made by particles, and particles have strong force of attraction, and when we heat, then these particles are vibrate, and when we are more heating, then the particles are dissociate and change into liquid state. So that vibration due to increase by temperature, that temperature change into that known as melting point. If any substance have strong force of attraction, that melting point is more, and that a weaker force of attraction, that a lower melting point. For example, sodium chloride, you know, that salt, their melting point is 1074 Kelvin. Because temperature another unit is Kelvin. Kelvin is standard unit, and earlier we know degree Celsius and Fahrenheit. We can change, how can we change what their relation? You know 0 degree Celsius is equal to 273.16 Kelvin. And some books it's given 273.15 Kelvin also. But we take approximate, that is 273 Kelvin. 0 degree means 273 Kelvin, and SI unit of the temperature is Kelvin. So students, remember, we don't write degree in place of K, but we write degree in small point, degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. And another unit is measuring of temperature is Fahrenheit, degree Fahrenheit. So what relation between degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit and Kelvin? First we understand what is the formula of degree Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin scale. Temperature, how can we measure? So degree Celsius And Fahrenheit, you know, melting point of water is 0 degree Celsius and Fahrenheit in 32 degree Fahrenheit. And another point, that is boiling point. Boiling point also a temperature when a liquid boils, change into gaseous state at its atmospheric pressure. The water boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius and in Fahrenheit 212 degree Fahrenheit. So this difference when we measure, then this difference is 180 and there is 100. So we can change degree Fahrenheit in such a way, degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 degrees Celsius plus 32. This is a new formula to remember. How can we change degree Fahrenheit into degree Celsius? 9 by 5 plus 32, because starting is 32 and this difference 212 minus 32, that is 180, and 100 or 0 difference is 100. So when we divide, then this 9 by 5. So degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 degrees Celsius plus 32. But SI unit, if you want to convert degree Celsius into Kelvin, Kelvin scale, how can we convert? Then degree Celsius plus 273. This one is formula. We can convert Kelvin and degree Celsius. And if you Kelvin scale is given, then you can convert minus Kelvin 273 Kelvin. 273. In such a way, we can easily find out. So at first we explain a solid when heating change into liquid, and further liquid when heat then change into gaseous state. So we observe a practical in your textbook, given a practical to find out melting point of water and boiling point of water. So student, at first we understand melting point a temperature and boiling point also temperature. Means a particular point when a substance change solid into liquid at its atmospheric pressure. That point known as melting point. Solid change into liquid at its atmospheric pressure, that known as melting point. And a substance when change into liquid into gaseous, when a temperature when liquid change into gaseous state at its atmospheric pressure. That is very important, atmospheric pressure, that known as boiling point. And these melting and boiling point of any substance is characteristics. If any substance have higher melting and boiling point, this indicates there is strong force of attraction. Particles are very near to each other. We know in solid have particles are very near, liquid slightly more gap, and gas have higher gap. So this indicates solid have very strong force. When that strong force we want to dissociate, that's required more energy, so it's have more melting point. If any substance have weaker force, their melting point is lower. In similar way, that liquid have weaker force, lower boiling point, and that have stronger force, there is more boiling point. So melting and boiling point is a characteristics of any substance. So students, we can remember some substance melting point, then we can easily identify. So water melting point is 0 degree Celsius and salt melting point is 1074 Kelvin. This indicates salt have more strong force of attraction. In similar way, water boiling point 100 degrees Celsius and the salt boiling point is 1686 Kelvin, means 1686 Kelvin, that is more boiling point. So the compound having more stronger force, that are more boiling point. So at first, how can we identify melting point? You see the activity. Take activity, how can we find out melting point of the water? So students, we take a beaker. In this beaker, I am filling some ice and the water. I take only the ice cubes and slightly some water. So this ice cubes, and I put a thermometer in this. Then thermometer, the knob should be dipped in this solution. So I put some more water in this. So that ice cubes, and this temperature is, when we see its temperature, so thermometer temperature is down and its temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. So what happens if you supply heat? If we put the burner on this, then temperature increase. So you know ice in solid state and it's converted into water, but temperature is not increased. So this process known as melting, a point when solid change into liquid at its atmospheric pressure, because at room temperature, laboratory, this at normal pressure, that's is atmospheric pressure. Actually this is pressure at sea level, but our school is height on the sea level, and this height you can observe easily at railway stations. On railway stations, carefully note there is a given height from sea level. When you go any place in train, then you carefully observe every railway station given on the board of the name plate, that is name plate, there is given what are the height of the sea level. So at this level we can easily observe when this remaining ice into this container, then the temperature is not increased. But we are continuously supply the heat, so where it is heat going on? So that heat known as latent heat of fusion. Latent means gupt usma, gupt. We know a film that is Miss actress Mrs. Kajol act as on that film. In similar way, that cannot identify easily up to the last culprit in that film. In similar way, in this, when we supply heat, water and ice temperature is not increased, that heat convert into water. It means ice and water, which is more have heat, you can say more energy, water is more energy. So if a person, if any students are injuries when are playing in ground or anywhere, then we use ice to absorb their swelling. If our hands or in our body part we have any injury, then which we use ice or water. So we use the ice cubes we placed on that place, because ice absorb that heat and it's convert into water. It means water have more energy than ice. So students, what do you mean by latent heat of fusion? Latent heat of fusion, for example, this is 1 kilogram ice. 1 kilogram ice convert into 1 kilogram water at its melting point. Melting point means its temperature should be remaining 0 degrees Celsius. That amount of heat known as latent heat of fusion. So you easily can remember what is latent heat of fusion. The amount of heat required to change 1 kilogram solid into liquid at its atmospheric pressure and melting point. So that heat known as latent heat of fusion, and water have very more latent heat of fusion. So the ice and water both have same temperature, it means 0 degrees Celsius. This temperature is not increased. So this process known as, we can say this is melting point of water. In similar way, boiling point. Boiling point how can we measure? When we heat, because now it is not boil. How can it boil? When you observe in our kitchen, when your mummy boils the water or milk, then it's like a bulk. The molecules are removed out. So boiling is a bulk phenomena. Bulk means in a group, not a single molecule. So the boiling a bulk phenomena, and boiling point, a point when a liquid change into gas at its atmospheric pressure. So in similar way, latent heat of vaporization, you can explain the amount of heat required to change 1 kilogram liquid into gas at its atmospheric pressure and boiling point, that known as latent heat of vaporization. So many times comes which one is hot water or steam. So when we feel explain when we make chapatis and sometimes our hands touch the chapati, then what happen? We feel very hot. Reason is steam have latent heat of vaporization. That is, and water have less. You can say steam is more heat than water. Why? Because we are continuously supplying heat. That heat convert into steam. In similar way, ice have less energy, then water more energy, and steam have more energy. Because that energy due to movement, kinetic energy, you can say movement of particle increase, speed increase. So boiling point also a very important phenomena. At that point, boiling point, liquid and gas have equilibrium, means same pressure and same temperature. So they are characteristics. If any substance melting and boiling point change, means impurity occurs. You can say pure matter have a fixed boiling point. So it is almost melts. All the ice is melt. So their temperature is not increased. When it boil, then it is a bulk. Means a single molecule is not boil. A group of molecule boil. So sometimes question comes, what is explained? Boiling is a bulk phenomena. Bulk means in a group. So it is a group activity, and all the molecules burns and the lower molecule come out upper side and upper goes to downside. When this process, and this is known as boiling. So students easily can understand what is latent heat of vaporization and latent heat of fusion. Students, when we heat any solid change into liquid, and when further liquid change into gas, but some substance when we heat they change direct solid to gas, and when we cool down they don't change into liquid state, they again change into solid. Means some substance do not change liquid state, they change directly gaseous state. That process known as sublimation. Sublimation a process, a substance when we heat, it change solid into gaseous state directly, they do not change in liquid state. And again we cool down, gas also change into solid state directly. This process known as sublimation. And the examples are camphor. Camphor balls, in urinals in many places placed, and because it's they are not soluble in water, so they have slightly good smells. So to remove the smell of urine, means of smell of ammonia, we use camphor balls in toilets, and they also germicides, they destroy germs, and in our homes also we placed in almirah for protect our clothes and other things from bacteria or germs. Camphor, you can say camphor ball. Another compound, that is ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride, this compound also sublime compound. This one is ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride. And this ammonium chloride have white crystals. You can see in this white crystalline ammonium chloride, and this compound is sublime. When we heat, we explain by activity, then you can see this direct change into solid into gas, and when we cool down, gas again convert into solid state. Another compound, that is naphthalene, that also organic compound that's similar to camphor and used to protect our clothes and other things. And one is solid iodine. That iodine also direct change solid into gaseous state. And another chemical that dry ice means solid carbon dioxide. Solid carbon dioxide also change direct solid to gas and gas to solids. This also we explain after sometimes. So students, this activity we will show the sublimation. Boiling. Boiling, boiling is a bulk phenomena. When we heat the water, they boils like they are remove out the molecule. So this is a bulk, means not a single molecule, it is a group phenomena. And this point, when temperature is equal in gas and vapor state, when liquid boil, that point is boiling point, and water boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. We earlier discussed this phenomena. Now we discuss sublimation. Students, we explain sublimation. So that is ammonium chloride, a sublime substance. It changes direct solid into gas. When we heat solid, it convert gas, and when we cool, gas convert into solid. So this one is a white crystalline substance. This substance, when we take in this china dish, we will take this salt in china dish. In china dish, and I put a inverted funnel with cotton plug, because we stop this, and I put on in this way. All salts are covered. So totally cover and heat a tripod stand. When we heat, then the substance is sublime, and these white crystals heat and its vapors are cooled down, then deposit at the wall of the funnel and collect. You will observe after some times, when this salt heat and its fumes release out, and that fumes are condensed and deposit on the wall of the funnel. When we heat this sodium ammonium chloride, then this vapors release out, and that vapors, when condensed, it's collected in the inverted funnel, and you can see the white fumes as released out, slightly remove out some side, so they are deposited at the funnel's surface. When they are cooled down, they convert into solid state. So this process known as sublimation. A substance direct change solid into vapor state, and these vapors you are showing, some vapors release out, but we collect some, and so they are condensed. When they are cooled down on the surface, and they change into again solid state. So this process known as sublimation. We remove out this, then you can see these are white fumes. You easily can see these are white fumes deposit on the side of the funnel. This process known as sublimation. And they are again changed. You can easily show they are white. This one, white salts. So this one is process known as sublimation. Students, chemicals, they change direct solid to gas, and when we cool down, they again change into gas to solid. This one is sublimation. Students, next we study the effect of pressure on solid, liquid and gas. So if you apply pressure, then what happens? At first we see the effect of pressure on gaseous state. When we apply pressure, then what happens? Gaseous have large space between particles, and when the molecules are come, force of attraction increase, and if you apply more pressure, then the molecules are very near and they convert into liquid state. So students, how can we liquefy the gas? So we can liquefy the gas by two methods. First, we increase pressure. When, for example, this one is a gas in a piston, this is piston. When we apply on this, the molecule are come to near. When we apply more pressure, then they again come near to each other. And when this piston goes inside, then the molecules are very near and they convert into liquid state. So applying very high pressure, the gas can change into liquid state. But in another condition, we have to any gaseous substance change into liquid state. So what we will do? We apply pressure. We have to increase pressure. Increase pressure. If you want any gas, we have to apply pressure. So the gas convert into liquid state. But another, we reduce temperature. Reduce temperature. Why? Temperature, you know, when temperature increase, kinetic energy increase. Kinetic energy and temperature is directly proportional. When temperature increase, movement of particle increase and particles are more away. And we don't want to go the particle more away. Yeah, there is more space. So we have to should be reduce the temperature and increase pressure. So these two, the important terms, increasing pressure and reducing temperature, we can convert any gas into liquid state. But you know dry ice, that dry ice, solid carbon dioxide, and how it's known as dry ice, because the gas when we temperature decrease and pressure increase, so it's convert directly into solid state. And when pressure remove out, again change into gaseous state. So this dry ice to use preserve meat and other materials. So you know, if students, how can we save the meat in our household area? That we placed in dry carbon dioxide. And dry carbon dioxide like a ice, because its temperature is very, very low and it is high pressure. So it's it can use for preserving the meat. But when we take in open in air, then open in air, that is 1 atmosphere. In that atmosphere, this dry ice convert into gaseous state, so that easily we get the pure meat, because that is not. If you placed the meat in freeze, means in ice, then it's ice when it melts, then bacteria creates and it can damage and have foul smell. So preserving meat and other materials, we use dry ice, and this process we can change any gas into liquid by applying pressure and decreasing temperature. You will study more about this process in 11th class. So students, today we studied, can we change any physical state? Yes, we can change physical state, solid, liquid, gas, by increasing temperature or decreasing temperature. Increase solid, liquid, and liquid change into gas. A conversion of solid into liquid known as fusion, and again liquid change into solid, that known as solidification. A liquid change into gas known as vaporization. A gas again change into liquid, that known as condensation. And if they change solid into gas and gas into solid, that process known as sublimation. We already studied the sublimation. So you should remember these examples: camphor, ammonium chloride, naphthalene balls, solid iodine and dry ice. These are sublime substances. They change direct solid to gas, and these compounds are very useful to us, and they sublime substance easily can separate by heating and then further cooling. So students, tomorrow we will study what is evaporation and factors affecting evaporation. So tomorrow we will finish this chapter. So you study thoroughly. and read carefully the NCERT books and write all the in-text question, and you can solve and then submit me. If any query, then you can ask by in comment box. Thank you.